The letter that found its way back. There are prayers that break you before they heal you. This is one of them. His name was Eli. 28 years old. Fresh from seminary, hands still soft from books, heart still burning with faith untouched by the world. The day he was ordained, his mentor placed both hands on his shoulders and spoke 3 sentences that would become prophecy. Be ready to die for Christ. Be ready to preach the word. And be ready to go when God says, go. Eli nodded. He thought he understood. He didn't. 6 months later, Eli planted a church in a forgotten town, where the factory had closed and hope had moved away. 30 people in folding chairs. A borrowed building. A piano missing 3 keys. But every Sunday, he preached like heaven was listening. And it was. At home, his son Micah was 4 years old, wild brown curls, eyes that saw God in everything. Eli would come home exhausted, and Micah would run to him shouting, "Daddy, did you tell them about Jesus today?" "I did, buddy. I did." "Good. Because Jesus is the best part." 3 weeks later, Micah stopped running. The doctor's office smelled like antiseptic and endings. The doctor's voice was gentle, but his words were not. "It's a rare blood disease. Aplastic anemia. His bone marrow is failing. Without a transplant, I'm sorry, Pastor. Months. Maybe less." Eli didn't move. Didn't speak. His wife, Sarah, let out a sound that wasn't quite a scream. More like a soul cracking. That night, Eli sat beside Micah's hospital bed. The boy was asleep, his small chest rising and falling like a prayer. Eli reached for his hand, so small, so fragile, and whispered through tears, "God, I gave you everything. My life. My future. My voice. I preach your name in a town that doesn't want it. I chose you over comfort, over safety, over everything. So why would you take my son?" Heaven said nothing. For weeks, Eli held on. He prayed. He fasted. He begged God for a miracle, while his church family brought casseroles and promises to pray. But the medical bills piled up like stones on his chest. No insurance. No savings. No donor match. One night, driving home from the hospital in the rain, he couldn't see the road anymore, not because of the storm, but because of the tears. He pulled over, slammed his fists against the wheel, and cried into the dark. God, where are you? I trusted you. I believed you. And you're just silent. My son is dying and you won't even speak. The rain pounded. The highway hummed with distant trucks. And then, in the stillness, a voice, not loud, not forceful, just there, whispered, I am already there. Eli froze. He didn't understand. But something inside him, something deeper than logic, exhaled. The next morning, an envelope arrived at the church. No return address. Inside a check. $2,000. A note in shaky handwriting. I don't know you. But God told me to send this. 3 days later, another. A widow. A man who wrote, I don't even believe in your God. But something told me your son needs this more than I do. The same God Eli thought was silent had been moving people miles away. Within 2 months, every medical bill was covered. Every surgery. Every treatment. Paid in full by people who had never heard Micah's name. Sarah wept into Eli's shoulder and whispered, He's been answering all along, hasn't he? Eli nodded, barely able to speak. Yeah. He has. But Micah still needed a donor. They found 8 potential matches. Hope flared like a candle in wind. One by one, 7 said no. Or fell ill. Or disappeared. Only one name remained on the list. A woman. Anonymous. No photo. No history. The hospital called her. She said quietly, hesitantly, I'll do it. The night before the surgery, Eli couldn't sleep. He sat in the hospital chapel, empty, cold, lit only by a small cross on the wall. A nurse entered quietly and said, Pastor Eli, the donor, she left this for you. She handed him a sealed envelope. His hands trembled as he opened it. And then he read, Dear Micah, I have never met you, but I have prayed for you longer than you've been alive. Years ago, I begged God for a child. Month after month, I waited, prayed, cried, but my womb stayed empty. I was angry. I asked him why he would give me a heart for children but no child to hold. And then one day, I heard him whisper, The child you prayed for needs you now. I didn't understand. Not until I saw your name on the donor list. Tomorrow, I'll give you a piece of my life, because God already gave me His. You are the answer to my prayer, Micah. And I am the answer to yours. I hope one day, you'll know you were never forgotten. You were always loved. Even before you were born, heaven was preparing a way. With all my heart, a mother who finally understands. Eli's hands shook so hard the letter fell to the floor. He collapsed to his knees, face buried in his hands, sobbing not from grief but from awe. You were there, he whispered through tears. You were there the whole time. God had been writing this story long before Eli ever knew there was a page. The surgery took 11 hours. Sarah and Eli held each other in the waiting room. Too tired to speak, too faithful to stop praying. The doctor appeared, gentle smile on his face. He's stable. The transplant took. Micah's going to live. Sarah collapsed into Eli's arms. And for the first time in months, they cried tears that tasted like joy. Micah grew. Not easily. Not without scars. But he grew strong in the ways that matter most. Years later, he became a coach for children with disabilities. Every season, he'd gather them in a circle and say, God doesn't waste pain, He redeems it. Every scar you carry, it's proof you survived. And survival, that's the first step to thriving. One day, a little girl with braces on her legs looked up at him and asked, Coach Micah, do you think God really sees me? He knelt down beside her and said, I don't think it, kiddo. I know it. Because when I was your age, I was dying. And God sent a stranger to save me. Someone I never met. Someone who prayed for me before I even existed. So yeah, He sees you. And He's already writing your miracle. We live in a world that demands proof. Immediate answers. Instant miracles. But sometimes, God's answers travel through time. Through strangers who obey whispers. Through letters written in tears. Through prayers that take years to land. Eli thought God was silent. But heaven was never late. It was just weaving two stories into one. A woman who couldn't have a child. And a father who thought he was losing his. Both praying. Both broken. Both answered. The pen is still in his hands. If this story moved you, subscribe to Mustard Seed Stories, where every week we share real stories of pain, healing, and the God who never stops writing.